Hi guys, greetings from Nauvoo. I told you in an earlier video about how the city of Nauvoo was settled by a group of disciples or followers of Jesus who were called the Saints, and that they came and created the town of Nauvoo because they wanted to create a sacred community. That's a place where people come together to do God's work the way that Jesus did. So today I wanted to show you a big model that somebody has made of what the town of Nauvoo looked like when the Saints lived here. I don't know if you can see it very well. I can't get too close, unfortunately, but you can see in the model the big river, that's the blue part, and you can see there's a hill, and up on top of the hill where there's a light shining, there's like a little white building. That is the temple. That's the building that I made a video of earlier that was up on the hill. And I don't know if you can see it, but then all around the temple and going down the hill toward the river, there are lots and lots and lots of little tiny houses in the model to show the houses that the Saints built when they lived in Nauvoo. There were a lot of people living in Nauvoo here, about 11,000, which made Nauvoo the second largest city in the state of Illinois at that time. It's a pretty big accomplishment what the Saints did here, and I'm very impressed by it. I've told you in an earlier video that the Saints community in Nauvoo didn't last very long, unfortunately. The Saints made some big mistakes that caused problems with people around them, and they fought with each other, and they faced prejudice from people outside their community. And so after just a few years, they were forced to leave Nauvoo, and they all went and lived other places. Although later some of them got back together and formed Community of Christ, the church that we belong to. But despite those mistakes, I'm still really impressed when I think about how hard the Saints worked to make, in just a few years, this big town of 11,000 people. So as I'm thinking about what the Saints did here, I'm also thinking about you in particular, Lila, and about your decision to get baptized. And I'm very happy that you've made that decision. I'm happy because when you get baptized, it's a way for you to show that you want to be a disciple. You want to be a follower of Jesus, and you want to do God's work the way that Jesus did, and the way that the Saints were trying to do here in Nauvoo. You probably won't help build a city the way the Saints did in Nauvoo, but you'll do other things over the course of your life to help carry out God's work. You've been doing that already. You remember those Easter cards that we made for Jill's mom and her neighbors. That was a way in which we were helping to carry out God's work the way Jesus did, because we were reaching out to people who might feel lonely. You might remember when we were collecting food and putting it in the big baskets in church so that we could give the food to people who were poorer than we are. That's another way that you helped to carry out God's work like Jesus did. And once you've been baptized, you will spend the rest of your life doing things like that. And I'm very impressed with you for being willing to do that. In the way that I'm impressed with the Saints for everything they did when they were building the city of Nauvoo here, trying as hard as they could to do God's work the way Jesus did. That's my message from Nauvoo for this week. I hope you guys are having a good summer. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.